Hey Trekkies, it's summer, and you know what that means. It's time for Creation Entertainment's Trek to Las Vegas 2025. This year, the convention has been expanded to a 5-day schedule, August 6th through the 10th at the Rio Las Vegas Hotel. Meet all your favorite Star Trek pros in one place, and hey, maybe you swing by Vic's Lounge and you see our panel. It's a great way to meet people in person and have some fun with your fellow Trekkies. If you can't make it to Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, there's also other events around the country this year. Trek to Orlando, August 23rd through 24th. There's the Trek to New Jersey, September 6th and 7th. And finally, the Trek to Chicago, November 22nd and 23rd. We're looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can this year. So make sure that you get ready to trek to Las Vegas.
Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Pike Night. I'm your host, John T. Bolts, here tonight with some amazing guests on stage and your host in the studio to talk about the Strange New Worlds Season 2 teaser trailer. Joining me tonight are my co-hosts, the man who, I don't know, I'm sure he'll be okay with the Klingons being in Season 2, host of Sudden But Inevitable, Jesse.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling Season 2, John, and I am ready to break down this trailer swiftly.
And Damn it. Good one. That was a good one. And the man who would like Season 2 of Strange New Worlds to go now. Host of Green Shirt and Newbie's Trek through TNG, Cameron.
Absolutely, John. And do you think it's a sign that the freckles in our eyes are perfectly aligned when we kiss?
I mean, it makes sense, but although we are mirrored right now with
oh, that's true.
With the video call, so it's all messed up. We got freckles all over the place. Tonight we're going to be talking about the teaser trailer for Strange New Worlds Season 2, which dropped on Wednesday, April 19th. And man, the world responded. Right now, I checked today, we got about 1.5 million views on YouTube on the Paramount channel. I'm sure there's other channels that immediately started giving us things you didn't notice, for obvious shots about the teaser. But people are out there watching and hopefully getting excited. I'm curious to see when all is said and done how many more end up starting with Season 2, or that's when they start watching Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if any of those people are following the show on Twitter at Open Pike, they've already seen my ultimate trailer breakdown theory. It's complete with screenshots. It's got zoom-ins. It's got references to thematic material, the lyrics, just like Cameron mentioned. You guys, it's got everything. So definitely be following this show on Twitter at Open Pike before Season 2 starts. Now, I hear you out there. Twitter's not going to exist when Season 2 starts. That's probably true. But there are links on our Twitter to our website, openpike.com, and there you can sign up for a newsletter that will go to your email no matter what happens to Twitter, so that you can be aware of when we need your voices to react to something from Strange New Worlds Season 2, much like this teaser trailer here. You guys, I lost my mind. I was useless the rest of the day in real life. I was like, now I have to find some way to pretend I look like I'm working.
Jesse, I told you to record yourself while you watched it for the first time. Did you not?
I couldn't do it because, again, I was at work and I couldn't wait. I was like, I'm not going to wait for this. In the future, I may attempt to do that because I was crying by the end of it. I was just like, I am so ready for this to happen. And some of the pieces combined with some of that music, I'll be honest, I've never heard of the Postal Service until this week. But that's
nothing else.
Great.
If Strange New Worlds introduced you to the Postal Service, Jesse, then we have done our job with this podcast.
Whew. There, right there. There's the generational divide between Cam and I and Jesse, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah, I had to ask somebody who it was. I immediately was like, okay, this was a perfect song choice, right? Again, I feel that it's telling us something. It may not be. It's possible that I'm that fan, TM.
Well,
but we'll get into that.
First off, I want to thank all of our supporters on Patreon. And if you haven't started supporting us on Patreon, please, I'd like you to seriously consider it. We have levels as low as $2 a month where you can help support independent Star Trek podcasting. We get our benefits. You get stickers, you get pins, you get a lot of background information, you get extra conversations, breakdowns of our episodes that regular listeners don't get to hear. We appreciate you listening. If you'd like to give a little more support, go to openpike.com and check out our Patreon link. And we'd love to have as many supporters as possible.
They also get a shout out, don't they, John?
Yeah, and our top tier supporters, the 25-minute set supporters, get a shout out. So thank you to Pam, Shatterhand, Steve, and Mark, all of you for really, really believing in Open Pike Night and independent ad-free podcasting.
It is you guys who make this ship go now.
Yes, and
absolutely,
and those 4 people specifically, like, just not to like harp on it or anything, but like the reason that we thank them out loud is because they actually legitimately make the show free for everybody else, because our hosting is covered by that. So it's the kind of thing you can have a measurable impact on shows that you care about, and we're deeply appreciative of that. So thank you.
I think I've met all but one of them, and you know what? They're all fantastic, good-looking, charismatic, funny, just great people.
People you want to karaoke with.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We put out a call for callers, and we got a lot of them, guys. We got 13 calls for this teaser trailer breakdown. We got more callers for a minute 50-second trailer than we did for, most of our season 1 hour-long episodes. So I'm glad we have so many people here joining us and rejoining us. Let's get right into it. Mm-hmm. Let's hear from a new caller. This is Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Greetings from the UK. I'm Greg.
Hey.
Hello. Everyone looks like they're having so much fun working on the show, and the trailer sure has an energy about it. Looking forward to continuing last season's Heart and Soul, and of course, Mortagus. We're in a golden age of Trek right now. May it live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Greg, welcome to the Open Pike Night Stage. And of course, we do need to start where we started with Mortagus.
Fair.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what we got to see of Eric Ortega's pilot of the Enterprise in this teaser.
Okay, guys, so there's this great scene at the beginning where, Pike says, like, can you handle? And she's like, fuck yeah, I can handle this. And then we get this overhead shot of what looks like, did we get that clear a shot of the piloting console at all in season 1? Because, it just looks like the world's best Xbox controller.
Yeah.
It looks so much fun to fly.
Awesome. I want to touch it so bad.
Now, what's interesting is we see that shot before we see her do the little laser barrel roll through the asteroid. Before that, we see that the bridge is full. Pike's in his chair. Mabenga and Chapel are off to the side for some reason. Yeah, everyone's on the bridge. We see her do the little barrel roll. Then we cut back to her just having so much fun flying the ship. No one's behind her. Pike's not in the chair. It's just her. So it's 2 different episodes, I think. The Pike telling her to get ready and then her having fun flying. I think her having fun flying is her flying through the debris field we were introduced to in the Ortega's teaser around Rigel 7. Yes. Because no one else is on the bridge.
No one else is on the bridge.
Just her and Spock. And we have another scene with her and Spock later, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
And it does appear that Spock would be left on the bridge with her because in that teaser, he's explaining, here's why you can't go. And he doesn't seem to be dressed to go. So
I think that later shot is from that episode.
I think so. There are some very tricky editing going on in this trailer, to Cameron's point.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout.
Can I just say, so mostly I've watched the full trailer, but there is a teaser. I think it was before I watched City on the Edge of Forever today. And before that, there was just a quick teaser for The Strange New Worlds. And it's just cut to make it look like when La'an is boxing, like it's a close-up of her punching, and then they cut to the shot of the hull breach and someone flying through the Enterprise. It looks like she punched a hole through it. It's the best edit ever.
That's awesome. It's always, I want Mortagus, of course. I was really happy to see, yes, you have high-energy weapons. If you can't make a path with your ship, cut a path with your ship. I've wanted to see that for a long time in Trek, and I'm glad we get to.
Nice.
And we get the same red phasers that we had in season 1. They're a continuous beam, and we have 2 of them operating at the same time and possibly rotating independently of the ship, which I know sounds like incredibly nerdy, but hey, if you think that's nerdy, strap in.
That's right. That's right.
I had so much fun in this. Like, you guys know me, all right? I feel every piece of Trek promotional material is pointed directly at me personally. But for them to start with this much Ortegas at the beginning of this, I was like, this is for us. This is totally for us. And I can't tell you how cool it is to hear Ortegas in an accent other than American. I really feel that means the world to me. And I thank you again, Greg. I love you in like a platonic way.
Or not.
It's great to always have new callers. If you like what you're hearing so far, call in. It's very easy. Go to openpike.com/join us and call in. We want to hear from as many people as possible. Everybody who you're going to hear today, they called in for the first time at some point. Some of them 30 episodes ago, some of them on this episode. So join them. Get up on the Open Pike Night Stage.
One more quick comment on Ortegas, though. Just there's the shot of her in civilian clothes. Whatever she is wearing is amazing.
Amazing.
Award-winning costumer still just knocking it out of the park season 2.
And I'll be real, it looks like a camo print, which normally would make me go, I don't want that anywhere on TV or in real life. But as she does with everything, Ortegas pulls it off, right? Like she makes everything look cool. And the shots of her throughout this are almost all paired with giant, joyous, radiant smiles, which
thank you. I was
so
about to
much
bring
for
that.
me.
Yeah, she is smiling and smiling and smiling, and that's fantastic to see.
We cannot wait to have Melissa Navia back to Open Pike Night to talk about this season, because I am beside myself with joy at what we've seen from Ortegas just in this teaser.
Well, speaking of callers, we have another one returning to the Open Pike Night Stage. Let's hear what Kate has to say.
Hey guys, it's Kate from Canada. Near the beginning of the trailer, there's a moment where I thought initially was Chapel and Mbenga sharing a laugh over some drinks, and then I realized that it was actually Ortegas and Mbenga. One of the reasons why I loved the Elysian Kingdom so much was how well Melissa Navia and Baz played off each other in that episode. But I'm kind of interested now to see how that will play out with Ortegas playing herself as opposed to Saragia. My question is, if that's more than just a one-off scene, if that's like a subplot of an episode, what kind of journey do you see Mbenga and Ortegas going on together? Is there a shared part of their past, or is there a mutual interest that they unexpectedly share? Thank you guys. Live long and prosper.
All right, Kate, thank you for calling in again.
So that's an excellent question, Kate. And I think that one of the running themes in this trailer is that Mbenga is kind of reeling. Like his whole world is different now, right? Because the one guiding light that he had is not gone, but like no longer centered in his life, right? So there needs to be something for him, and I feel like the logical conclusion would be a vacuum, right? So I think he's going to spend season 2 desperately searching for human connection, and we see a lot of him connecting with other people in this trailer. Not only do we see him having drinks with Ortegas, I think that's definitely a combat veteran, like get to know you at the bar sort of a thing personally, but we also see him training La'an in close quarters combat. We also see him with Chapel, very close to Chapel in a couple of scenes.
More of that great, whatever history they have, because they kind of just touched on that a little bit season 1, and we didn't get to know what we know they have history, but we don't know what that entails. So very excited to get more of that.
Yes. Chapel, Ortegas, and Mbenga, there were definitely hints in season 1 that these three hang out together a lot. I thought you were making a pun when you said Mbenga was reeling, because he's the only person we actually saw reeling in season 1 when he went fishing.
Again, we are not a fishing podcast.
But and what Kate mentioned was great, because I was thinking about that. One of the things I love about the trailer is we get a lot of great action shots, but we get a lot of really great little character moments throughout. And one of the themes is seeing characters together we haven't seen together a lot, like Mbenga and Ortegas. And I was like, I think we only saw him once in season 1. It was just when she made fun of his hat in that one episode. Thank you, Kate, for reminding me. Of course, the actors had an entire episode side by side with my favorite, The Elysian Kingdom, but it wasn't the characters. So it will be very exciting seeing these two characters interact more.
Well,
Yes.
especially
And
knowing that Mbenga remembers all of that, but Ortegas does not.
okay, this is just from different shots in this trailer. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they get their memories of that event back at some point during this season. Do we think, let's all answer now, do we think there's going to be another Elysian Kingdom type or related episode in season 2?
I want there to be. I don't think there will be. I think with only 10 episodes, the writers have more fertile new ground they want to cover. Although I wouldn't be surprised if there was one very specific sequel episode, but that would probably concern Captain Angel, I imagine.
That's so difficult, John. And for me, the reason that it's difficult is because in this era of Trek, right, we have some omnipotent beings around. We assume the Q are around, but we have no evidence of them messing with humans in this era, right? I think some people think, I believe I'm getting this name right, Johnny Trelane was a Q from, is that maybe a guy from TOS? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's his name, but yes, somebody does think he might be, yeah.
And Gary Seven, I know that he's, I believe, canonically not a Q now. He's a Watcher or something, if I'm not mistaken. But point being, there are a lot of omnipotent beings, going on in Trek that don't really have defined edges for me as somebody who came in from TNG and later. One of those, I believe, is in this trailer. And for that reason, I think that we don't get a second Deborah the Nebula episode in season 2, because I think we are going to get a Guardian of Forever episode.
Yeah. And that is, I think that's entirely possible. I don't think we'll have another entire Elysian Kingdom. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come up somehow in as a B plot, maybe something, but I don't, there's only 10 episodes. They don't have time. They don't have going back to it would be a little bit of it'd be a bad choice.
And maybe season 3, because when they wrote this, they didn't know Elysian Kingdom would like stick out as much as it did, or be as big of a hit as it was.
Well, and we believe, I think, that Mbenga will exit the Enterprise before Kirk takes over, right? So, like, I'm personally okay if he gets to become a Nebula too. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like,
but he does come back.
They can just be they can be father-daughter Nebulas forever.
Yeah, he comes back to TOS. But Nebulas can reform.
That's true.
It's one of those things. And not to make this obvious, I haven't seen every episode of TOS. I'm slowly working my way through. Much like Cameron, I just saw City on the Edge of Forever for the first time.
I only watched it because of you, Jesse. It's good.
You're welcome.
All right, let's hear from our next caller. Returning to the stage, it is Christina.
Hey, Open Pike, this is Christina. I love the new trailer, and I was excited to see that Una's going to be back in season 2. And I really, really like that La'an seems to be opening up a little bit this season. I felt like that was needed, so I'm really liking it. Looks like it's going to be really good. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, Christina.
Thank you, Christina. We see and hear Una almost immediately in this trailer.
Yeah, I like that kind of callback to the first episode of Strange New Worlds, right? That's opened by
the first
Una
trailer.
narration.
She narrated the first trailer as well.
Right.
They did that, aliens are aliens till you meet them or whatever they
are we going to discuss that line again?
You can go back and listen to some of our old episodes for that.
Parallel drawn. It's taken care of. But if you did listen to our last episode in which we discussed the Illyrian Enigma comic series, I postulated that Una is going to get a full-on Measure of a Man style courtroom episode at the start of season 2, maybe episode 1, episode 2. And this trailer really seems to support that. We've got the court-martial bell that we've seen in TOS. I really feel like her narration, so many of us from so many places on our own journey, like that sounds like it's part of her court-martial defense to me personally. And I think that at some point that narration gets intercut with a different narration that she is giving over some other topic to make you kind of feel disoriented, which I believe disorientation is a big theme in this trailer. And I don't know if trailers have themes. So that's something that I'm struggling with as well. But I'm very, very interested to see where it goes specifically.
Yeah, so it's I'm glad they didn't try and play it as like, oh, is Una going to come back? Is it not? They don't even, I mean, besides the shot of the bell,
Yeah.
that's it. It's like, yep, okay, we're yes, there's going to be a trial. No, it is not going to be a huge plot point for the entire season.
And
they're well established.
And I love that they're sticking with their guns, right? They're episodic, old school TV style guns. Like, yes, we know we have to get it back to the status quo, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to go forward. Like, I'm so incredibly grateful for that.
You know, instead of 12 angry men, it'll be 12 mad admirals, and they'll just all plot against each other so much it'll be a hung jury, and Una will be set free. There we go. There's my new theory. Yeah. Also, you know, another Una shot is we got Kirk back.
Mm-hmm.
We got James Kirk back. Both Kirk brothers are back. We knew that was coming. That's already been, you know, that hasn't been a secret.
I am upset that Jim gets so much more screen time than Sam in this trailer.
Right.
Sam is a blink and you miss him. I thought I didn't even I was about to complain that he's not in the trailer until I started freeze framing.
Like frame, yeah. Like, oh, there
like
he is
you
drinking.
Like I do.
I mean, is that going to be like the season-long story arc that he gets a drinking problem after all those who wander, dealing with the stress of that? Like,
well, not to be that guy, but anybody who's listened to our interview with Dan Janot, who plays Sam Kirk, will know that they should be expecting at least one scene with both Kirks and an Uhura.
Very excited for that one.
Yeah.
When he beams on and we get the little moment between Lon and Una, you know, at first I was like, really? And then almost immediately I was like, no, yep, that checks out. I mean, if we're going to go retro Kirk, we got to have that like magnetism that just draws people into him and makes them hot and sweaty. And then it just, I really hope that the special edition of Wrath of Khan inserts a line for Kirk where he just goes, you know, I boinked your granddaughter.
Right? Exactly.
Like right before the Reliant goes, like that's the last thing Kirk says.
That's the last thing Khan ever hears.
Guess what?
I boinked your granddaughter.
All right, let's hear from Sinacera. See what he's got to say.
What's up, guys? It's Sincera. I've just been so nervous ever since the end of season 1. I don't know if they're going to be able to save Una. Oh, would you look at that? She's fine. Well, moving on. This trailer looks amazing. Jesse, you got your wish. Klingons and more Klingons. And I honestly, that was the part that made my brain kind of pause and forget everything else that was in the trailer. I think there was a revolving door and Spock said, hit it, or something Spock-like that was like, hit it. But I don't know. Again, I was still blacked out by the fact that we got traditional Klingons.
He really did black out.
That's amazing to me. Live long and prosper and...
Sincera, welcome back to the Open Pike Night Stage. Thank you for calling in.
Absolutely. And if you want to hear more of that amazing voice, be sure to check out his episode on Green Shirt, A Newbie's Trek Through the Next Generation, where he discusses Ship in a Bottle with producer John and myself, probably dropping in a little over a month. So,
and if instead of doing that for
discussion.
free, you'd rather pay, you can sign up for our Patreon and see a video of Steve singing karaoke with us.
Yeah, that's another thing patrons get to do. If you're at the same convention we are sometime in the future, you're gonna get to sing karaoke with us. And if you don't want to sing karaoke with us, you get to watch us sing karaoke. So
At you.
You get that. It's not a punishment. It's fun.
Speaking of
we got Klingons, guys.
Yeah.
We got
Klingons.
some really good looking Klingons.
100%.
Those are pure undiscovered. Like I saw them, I'm like, oh, undiscovered country. We're right. Okay, I know where we are in the Klingon evolution era.
That's right. Jesse, I know you think Star Trek can do no wrong unless it involves a single nacelle, but I am so glad that we've got Klingons that look like Klingons. Great stuff. Interestingly, too, like that scene, it's not just Klingons. There's other weird looking aliens in the background. So I'm very curious what's going on here. Should be
feels
exciting.
Almost like a refugee camp full of different species from an exploded planet or universe.
Maybe, or a market of some. What?
Yeah, exactly. Or like a Mos Eisley, for lack of a better term, type. You know, a planet where it's Spock who's taking a drink with Klingons, which tells me Spock is the one dealing with something. Which again, maybe something went down on Rigel 7, and Spock and Ortegas are going off to find some kind of help.
Yes,
and he has to do a do a deal with Klingons, so they celebrate with a blood wine drink there. I'm just saying.
Blood wine? Or do we think that's one of our words, our teases?
Could be Klingon coffee. Or Rakagino.
Just Spock getting all jittery the whole time.
It could be. Well, so I think Spock is an audience insert in that scene because the Klingon goes, ah, and Spock goes, ah. And it's like,
I love
that's the sound that I made when I saw that.
Okay, the gate, the portcullis, whatever type thing we're seeing there, very confusing imagery there because there's a Federation symbol?
There's a Starfleet insignia on the thing, and I'm wondering, is that like a Starfleet outpost, or has Starfleet since like taken over that since the last time Pike was there?
That was my theory, right? That they had left some people there, like
on Rigel 7.
So I think two things: either we get Dr. Boyce on Rigel 7, where they had set up an outpost, or that's the Mirror Universe episode. That's Mirror Rigel 7.
Ooh.
So
which one is it?
Last thing about the Klingons before we move past them. We do get to see a very gorgeous D7 cruiser later at the end of this trailer dropping out of warp. And like I squealed when I saw the Klingons, but anybody who really loves the Klingons knows that you have to love them completely. And that involves their ships and their music and their cloaking devices. And if we get that Klingon theme in Strange New Worlds, I will.
Nami, what would you do with the Klingon theme? Why do we not ask her this? Oh, Nami, come back and tell us everything about Klingon theme.
I will lose it, you guys.
Or the entire Mailota, Kalos and Mailota opera. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the Elysian Kingdom episode, is they just act out that entire opera.
As you know, Nami Millamad would have a blast writing that opera.
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
I'm going to just throw out that I really hope we get to see Lirpa v. Batleth, because I think that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jesse, you said this is your first time finding out about the Postal Service. Cam and I definitely know about the Postal Service. Anybody who was really watching movies in the early 2000s and definitely knows the Postal Service. I'd say Garden State probably really put them on the independent film map. It's an interesting choice of song. I keep going back and forth on it. So,
well, look, I love the Postal Service, so I loved it there. I think the song has the right energy, but it's interesting because, Jesse, you mentioned themes from that song tying into your Mirror Universe theory. Now, the song itself is actually, as Ben Gibbard said, it's a love song. It's one of his few happy love songs. It's about a long distance relationship between two musicians. Don't know how that would thematically fit. Maybe with Spock and T'Pring, who we see none of in this episode.
We do see
trailer.
Spock playing music in this this trailer.
That's true.
But yes.
Yep.
But Jesse, I don't think that negates your theory, though, because this is how Hollywood likes to use music, is they just type into Google, give me song lyrics with the word mirror in it. And that would pop up and they go, sure, let's use that. It's such great heights. Yeah, we can use that for some imagery too. Great. It's got the word mirror. That's all we wanted because, yes, there will probably be a mirror universe. I think it backs up your theory, Jesse.
I feel like it has to. I mean, and they specifically say there's a line that's like, from far away, everything looks fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch this trailer at a basic level, it looks like a bunch of really cool stuff happening. But if you dig deep, like somebody with a problem like me, you may come away going, wait a minute, almost none of this is real in this trailer. Or not real, but like some of this is happening as a result of a Guardian of Forever. I almost said Galaxy. Or some sort of omnipotent being, or timeline split, or alternate Earth, or past flavored Earth, all of which are totally plausible for Star Trek and have happened 100 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
I 100% think we're getting both a time loop / time travel and a mirror universe episode. I mean,
I can
time
agree
travel
with that.
for sure. Time travel is almost.
Time travel is undeniable. Time loop, there's some shots in there. I was like, this easily could be a cause and effect ish style episode we might be looking at. But I at first I was very put off by having Postal Service in there. I'm like, oh man. And I will admit, to a certain bias, that song got played a lot. Like that, it was definitely a knee jerk to like, oh yeah, that's right. I heard this song all over the place a lot for a lot of years when I was younger. But as I rewatched the trailer, I like that it is a high energy song that is like sounds high energy, sounds cheerful, but is, you know, not necessarily doesn't have to be cheerful.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's funny because I've always taken this kind of a melancholy song. I've always taken this like two people who like are trying to convince themselves they're in love but aren't.
Yeah.
And it was I was reading the Wikipedia today to see like, oh, what is the song actually about? And I guess the writer meant it to be a happy song. But it's been gibbered, so even when he tries to write a happy song, it still sounds kind of like, are they happy?
Yeah. Plus, it was really famous when Iron and Wine did it, and that version is incredibly melancholy because it's also played
Iron and Wine
a quarter of the speed of this version.
What the hell are you guys
If you don't know, Postal Silvers is someone who I'm not really familiar with, and Ben Gibbard, who is from Death Cab for Cutie, so hence all the melancholy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I did like the orchestration beneath it, though. Yes. It's like, all right, I'm liking this. Actually, this might be my favorite version of this song.
To your point, John, I am definitely a please do not put actual stuff in my Star Trek person. Like, I had an issue a little bit on Disco when they watched like specific movies. I didn't really love that Pike was watching The Day the Earth Stood Still, but like, I am over it, and I get why they do it. It's a shorthand. It's a great way to get people, you know, caught up to speed with what's happening. And Star Trek as a franchise has always taken what works from every other popular franchise and put it in Star Trek. Like that's kind of what Star Trek does. So, you know, to see all of these Marvel movies that have like that really slow Nirvana cover, and then they did it again on a couple of other trailers. It's like they're just taking cues of what gets people hyped up. Now, to that point, Star Trek Picard Season 3 recently broke the top 10 Nielsen ratings for streaming, and that's really, really cool. But guess who wasn't getting measured when Strange New Worlds was on? It's Paramount Plus. So I am personally asking everybody who is listening to this right now, let's make Season 2 of Strange New Worlds huge. I want this in the top 10 because I want so much more of this show, and the only way to do that is to show them that we love it.
Well, and I've said this before, but if you've got friends who like Star Trek, don't assume they know what Strange New Worlds is. I've been wearing my lapel pin, my Star Trek lapel pin. So many people out there love Star Trek. And it's not just like, oh, I recognize that. I asked them their favorite series, and they have opinions. And then I go, how about Strange New Worlds? Most of them haven't heard of it. Those who have heard of it haven't watched it. I think maybe one person I've talked to has actually seen it.
As John is fond of saying, we are in the era of Star Trek where you have to pay to watch it. And arguments about that aside, because they are all valid from all directions, if we want more of this, we need more people to watch it. So it comes down to that.
Yeah. And we need more people to listen to this podcast and make it, you know, keep it as the premier Strange New Worlds call-in podcast. So speaking of calls in, let's hear from our first caller.
Our first caller?
Hi, it's Peter again. Time just flew by from when we saw the Season 1 finale last July to this past week when Paramount Plus released this teaser for Season 2. What I like the most about the Season 2 trailer is that, just like the Season 1 trailer, it balances the spirit of exploration and discovery with the humor and friendly atmosphere on the Enterprise. Those were some of the major reasons why Season 1 was well received by the fans. If they continue that style of storytelling, which it looks like they will be doing, Season 2 will also be popular. Some of my favorite segments were Ortega's face lighting up just before she corkscrews the Enterprise, Una teasing La'an about Kirk, Spock drinking with the Klingons, and Kirk fighting with the revolving door. By the way, since Una was in several scenes in the trailer as well as provided the opening narration, it seems the cliffhanger from Season 1 will be resolved quickly. I hope so. I look forward to hearing your reactions to the Season 2 trailer. What were your favorite parts, and were there any segments which surprised you? Can't wait to June 15. Live long and prosper.
All right, that was Peter, the first person to ever call into our podcast, joining us once again on the Open Pike Night Stage. Welcome back, Peter, and thank you for your questions. Honestly, I think my favorite segment I might be the Kirk fighting the revolving door. I don't know why. I was like, all right, I'm fully on board with this. It gave me such the one with the whales type
I was just about to say, if they're going that direction, I am here for it. Yes.
Yes. It really felt like it. It really felt like the voyage home.
And especially after having just watched City on the Edge of Forever, I'm like, yes, let's see Kirk's first time going back in time. Like, by the end of his career, this guy will have gone back to 20th century Earth. I don't know, a handful of times at least. But so let's see his first time visiting a Roots store.
Yeah.
And I'm going to agree 100% with Peter that I'm glad the cliffhanger seems to have resolved quickly, because that's how episodic cliffhangers are supposed to work. It doesn't need to be like, oh, now the whole next season, you know. And again, this isn't throwing shade at other shows. It's just like, it's me continuously rejoicing that we're back to true episodic storytelling with character serialization, as opposed to like, you know, multi-episode arcs that take up a chunk of a 10-episode season. That having been said, I'm surprised we got as much as we did in this trailer, because there is so much that sort of demands a time loop or an alternate universe, like just visually, that I'm a little surprised they gave us as much as they did. Now, even having said that, I'm sure there's so much more that I will be surprised about, because as soon as I saw this the first time, I was like, oh, I bet they did the same thing as they did last year, where they gave us a little bit of every episode in this. But now that I've gone back through it, I think this might be like 2 to 4 episodes worth of clips at the most.
I'd say 4 to 5. I'd say 4 to 5. We definitely have the Rigel 7 episode. And I think that's Ortega's flying through some debris. I think we've seen, a lot anytime they're in the warm weather gear. We see the Rigel 7 gates. There's the time loop episode where the Enterprise gets destroyed. At first, I thought that might be Mirror Universe, but then I remembered the Enterprise is still around in the Mirror Universe later on.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely think that's time travel, because, and again, they kind of scatter the shots throughout, but we see the 2 astronauts watching it be destroyed. And then later on, we see it's Spock and Chapel, right, in the suits ready to eject out of what appears to be the damaged bridge. Yep. So I think that's the shot just before the shot we saw earlier in the trailer. Yeah. So they were obviously on the ship when it started going down.
And the shot where they're outside the ship, there are 2 Gorn scouts closing in on the left side of that shot.
Yes.
So it's like, these people are dead. Like there has to be a universe reset or time reset level thing going on.
Now, is that the same time travel episode as Kirk and La'an going back in time? I don't know.
Right. And it could also be the newly repaired Peregrine from S1E9.
It doesn't have to be Enterprise. You're right.
It's possible.
So let's talk a little more about Kirk and La'an, because they're setting up a little bit of a potential romance subplot there. So, enough so that of all the individual shots they show of, people, 2 shots, people interacting with each other, they just flat out, Una calls La'an out on getting turned on when she meets Kirk.
Do you guys get sweaty when you see other people get turned on?
No,
that was an interesting line from Una, I thought.
Oh, it's her Illyrian senses are getting. She's doing the sympathetic healing.
That's right.
Thing,
okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, to me, now, had there not been the final shot of La'an and Kirk bumbling through time together, I'm so excited. I would have thought that the introduction between those 2 was another bit of tricky editing, because that scene with her and Una, supposedly ostensibly beaming in Kirk and then her getting all flustered, you don't see Kirk and La'an in the same frame.
Fair.
Exactly.
So that could be anybody, and then they chose to show us that clip from the end to make us go, oh, okay, it's totally definitely Kirk. But here's my thing, is that alone means you're going to have to explain something, right? Because, and this is what we ran into as soon as we knew that La'an would be a character. We're there's going to have to be some kind of explanation that some people are not going to like, and other people are going to be like, it's good enough, it's Star Trek, right?
Yeah,
I feel that
Seed,
I feel that may be coming up sooner rather than later in season 2.
Kirk doesn't have to learn her last name, I guess, but
he doesn't. But if they're going to go back in time to Canada together, he should.
I don't know. Do you always learn that person's last name when you go back in time with them, Jesse?
Only if it's to Canada.
No, true. But go ahead.
Oh, it's good to see that, at some point Kirk didn't have such a familiarity with the revolving door, because we know he got good with revolving doors later on. You know what I mean? All the women he slept with. Supposedly.
Oh, those okay. Yes, but in to that point, what should people know? Like you said earlier, it seems we see a guardian of
forever,
not the galaxy, forever. And it seems like, I think it's Spock, Pike, and La'an waiting for someone outside of it. So is that what La'an and Kirk went through? Why would she be waiting for herself? That could be some tricky editing.
Happy?
Let's go ahead and hear from another returning caller. Here is Sayadina.
Hello, Open Pike. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm super hyped to enter into this new season and see what adventures we have in store. Besides the fact that the trailer was basically Spock reaction cam, which pleased me very much, I liked how the trailer was focused on the characters and their connections with each other. I hope this is indicative of the season being character-driven as well as idea-driven. Still, an alarmingly little amount of Una, but hopefully we'll get lots of her story this season. Another aspect was this idea of other worlds, alternate and strange realities, which is at the heart of this series, and it seems like they're leaning heavily into this concept, especially with the song they chose, which I'm obsessed with now. It's all about meeting a kindred soul and being swept into their world and never coming back. It's otherworldly and dreamlike, like passing through a fantastical dimension.
Talos 4.
And I was just reading your excellent theories on Twitter, Jesse, and I can see you and I were vibing on that same wavelength.
Yeah.
I hope this means things are about to get very weird and topsy-turvy. Shenanigans are afoot. I will finish by quoting from one of my favorite novels, Lilith, by George MacDonald. It is true that whoever would cross the threshold of any world must leave fear behind him.
All right. Thank you, Sayadina, for calling in. And yeah, we see some strange new worlds.
100%. Love that vibe from this trailer.
Yeah.
I think that the desert, I'm just going to call it a Pandora-looking planet, has like the big stone columns. There's a city in that planet that the date pops up from behind. And the swirling blue portal over the pyramids, those are all three the same location. That's a flag I'm going to plant right now. Those are the same location across 3 different times. And I believe that location is the aforementioned Guardian of Forever. Because that real zoomed out shot where they're in the desert, the color palette is exactly the color palette from the TOS episode. And to me, that feels like something these creatives would do. They'd go, let's just match the color so people know where we are. Then we can play with, the specifics, which they're going to need to do.
Yep.
Now, after that, in the swirling blue portal shot, you see some ziggurats. Thank you, whoever corrected me on Twitter. They're not pyramids, they're ziggurats. But they're definitely in like the same structure as the ruins from the TOS episode, City on the Edge of Forever. And if you look at the city in the third, the Pandora planet area, it definitely has some columns going on, and columns were quite prominent in the ruins of the TOS episode. So I like, not to be, super Mariner up against the whiteboard or anything, but I feel like this is definitely what's going on. And if it's not, I'm okay with that. This is one of my favorite parts of Star Trek, is the wild speculation before it actually begins.
Well, a couple of thoughts on that. I mean, one, that's just another example of like how many shots from the trailer seem to be coming from one episode.
Yes.
The other thing I noticed is there's a lot of different shots spread out that have the circular kind of space station with the prongs and the pods sticking out around it.
Yep.
Starbase 1.
Is that Starbase 1? It looks different than the Starbase 1 in the past.
There's a lot of different angles of it, to your point, so that might be part of it. But I think
we see it a lot scattered around, and so I'm guessing that's all one episode too. So again, like I'm thinking, like 4, maybe 5 episodes that they're drawing from heavily. But again, the Guardian on the Edge of Forever, looking at it through the frame, the lens of that should Kirk know La'an, Noonien, and Singh? Should Spock know what this is? He should know. So it is whatever time loop they get in, they end up forgetting they even went to the planet. Maybe originally Kirk and Spock entered the portal to stop McCoy from ever getting into the accident he got into, which didn't actually end up happening. That did not end up being the plot of that episode. So maybe that's this time. They're like, oh, we need to go stop ourselves from even coming to this planet. And that's why Spock never remembers it.
Now, I think that planet is actually the first planet featured in the first shot of this trailer where we see the Enterprise flying past that star, because there are 3 moons in that shot and a planet. And then when you're down on the desert, there are at least 2 moons in that shot. So I think there could be something to that, Cameron. Like
this is their arrival here. This is the first ever Starfleet encounter with whatever becomes the Guardian of Forever, or, there's a lot of possibilities here, but I feel like there's so much evidence in this trailer. Now, we haven't even mentioned that it also appears that there is a swirling room of undulating energy that has Uhura, Chapel, and Ortegas in it. And that's three completely different people that are on the outside of the portal door that we see. So it's possible that they're on the inside of a portal door, and that room is very reflective, much like a mirror. Now, while we're on the topic of Uhura, she also seems to see the shuttle accident aftermath that took her parents from her in this. I think that's what that is, right?
I mean, I didn't pick up on that at first, but when people started pointing it out, I was like, shit, that probably is what it is. And I say shit because
there's going to be a shuttle crash.
I have a spec script that may involve my take on that shuttle crash, and it does not look to match up with this take. So I might have to start a rewrite.
Big shuttlecraft also. That is man, this is the first actual, the size of the inside of shuttlecraft in Star Trek has always been very, very TARDIS-like to the outside of what we see. It's there's a lot more room in these sets than when they're standing in the bay, but this actually looks like a properly sized shuttlecraft.
Yeah. Speaking of shuttlecrafts, 100% we see again, after the sequence from the Ortegas teaser, the Rigel 7, we see Pike and M'Benga and I think Una going down to Rigel 7 in the shuttlecraft. That's them flying through all the debris that she talks about. Ortegas.
Yes.
Is it La'an? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, La'an.
But yeah, that's totally that.
Yeah. So again,
La'an must come back in the first episode.
Oh, it's
or
gotta be.
I bet she'll just be back. I bet I don't think she'll arrive. I think she will already have arrived.
She'll be a surprise witness at the court martial because she's off helping Fig, I think, from episode 9 of last season, and they'll be like, there's nobody here that can speak on your behalf, and she'll be like, actually, I can.
I wish her name was Fig.
Fig Newton. Is that why? Is that it, Jesse? Yes. Good.
No, her name is Fig. I'm pretty sure her name is Fig. Oh wait,
they
no,
wouldn't do that.
The girl from 109. The girl from 109 is Ariana. The girl from 104 is Fig. Fig was in Memento Mori. Okay. Oriana was in All Those Who Wonder. Sorry.
Understandable.
That would have been really on the nose for the showrunners.
Well, just speaking of that, let's just say real quick, we get Alien 3 in this trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
There's Gordon.
They went hard Aliens in season 1. They're going hard Alien 3 in season 2.
Yes, they are. Yep. It'll be a fully wooden planet with monks. And
that's right. La'an shaves her head.
Yep.
There's also appears to be a shot of them flying through some giant red crystals in space. I don't know what that is, but I would love to know what that is. It looks very cool.
We will.
Might be part of the time loop. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, the interesting thing though is Guardian of the Edge of Forever, that portal thing, you would think based on the episode, the TOS episode, that's what takes La'an and Kirk back into modern day. You would think. But it seems, unless it's tricky editing, that La'an is outside waiting for someone on the other side of that portal with Pike and Spock. So what if just every episode is a time travel or time loop or mirror universe episode? They
or
just
alternate universe.
Balls out season 2. Yeah.
And then at the very end of the last episode of season 2, Pike wakes up, goes to the bridge, and Batel comes to arrest Una, and it's literally back to where season 1 ended.
How will they get Una free this time?
It's actually the same footage. They didn't even shoot anything new. I just
I would
that's how they continue the show after Kirk takes over. It's just let's just go to the time loop.
But to Cameron's point, I mean, a lot of people in the community and online have said, why isn't there a Star Trek what if show like there was for Marvel? There are so many little cool what if stories you could do, and I've always gone, those happen in Star Trek. Those are part of seasons.
Those mirror universe.
It's mirror universe,
what it is.
Or it's Die Hard, or it's any other movie plot that was popular for several months. They're like, let's take pieces of that and do a thing with it. To Cameron's point, this could be the most bonkers season of Star Trek that we've ever seen, and I think that ties beautifully into Sayadina's point about the true weirdness that we are craving from Star Trek, right?
Yeah. And we didn't even see anything that seems to be from the Lower Decks episode in this trailer.
I know. Seriously.
Not a bit. and this is a teaser, so there might be one more trailer, but there wasn't last season, right?
Well, we had the character teasers and then we had the trailers. So will we get something equivalent to the character teasers? I don't know.
Well, let's hear from another returning caller to the Open Pike Night Stage. Here is Captain Idol.
Hello, Captain Idol from Trek Time here. What can I say about the Season 2 trailer for Strange New Worlds other than, wow, I am intensely intrigued by what this season has to offer. Spock drinking with the Klingons has to be my highlight. Got to know how that comes about. And check out the ample nacelles on that D7 beauty. The trailer promotes a wonderful sense of unity among the crew, and was that Sam Kirk I spotted sipping drinks? This trailer has some energy. It's making me sweat. I cannot wait for the season to begin. Anyway, I'd better go before the Cardassians realise I'm using their propaganda room to record this message. Ta-ra!
All right, Captain Idol.
Making us look bad. Jeez.
Yeah. Isn't that every Cardassian room?
Also, I need to hear Klingon said in a British accent more often. That makes me sweat.
Also, I've got ample nacelles as going to be one of our t-shirts. It's got to be.
Just the energy of this trailer. I mean, I think everyone's kind of at least implied that. But again, like whether you're freeze framing shot by shot or just letting it wash over you, this trailer is amazing.
And there is one moment specifically in the trailer where we get a pretty big reveal, and that is Spock's line to tell Ortegas to take the Enterprise to warp. What do we think of it? What do we think about Spock's line and what it might mean?
Two things. John, how does it feel to have had Melissa Navia ask you, are you going to say the thing? And then to see it in this trailer? Like that's...
I had a pretty special moment. I was like, hell yeah.
Well, I love that we asked her what her thing would be, seeing that she had such a big moment of asking Spock what his thing would be. It was like, she's thought of this then. Okay, we weren't the first people to present that to her.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful fandom moment.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we have to ask, okay, if you listen to our episode with Bill Wolkoff, who was a writer in season 1, and we know he's a writer in season 2, he mentioned his one-word season 2 tease that we ask all of our guests for was go. Spock pretty clearly says go in this trailer, and it took me like probably 15 watches and like a detachment from the trailer for a few hours and then jumping back into it to going, why is go hitting me so hard? Oh, wow. It's because Bill Wolkoff used that as his teaser word. Maybe that's where that's
our
coming in.
Our second ever teaser, one-word tease for season 2, yeah.
Now, here's the question. Do we remember what evil mirror universe Captain Lorca's warp command was? It was go.
Go. It was, a lot of people have thought that meant Lorca coming back.
I was immediately like, oh, this is our teaser. It's go. That's what it is. Bill Wolkoff seems to have confirmed that on Twitter by going, the go is out of the bag, and he retweeted that realization that I had. But what if we're being tricked and we're going to get Prime Lorca finally? I would be very excited, and it would fit with the mirror universe, alternate universe like thing that we've got going on in this imagined version of season 2 that doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to say this is the tease, but there's a possibility that we're being red herringed here.
I mean, I would love Prime Lorca, of course. I'm always down for some more Lorca. But I got to admit, when you presented that with us, Jesse, I was like, I wasn't convinced. Because watching that line, I'm like, if I were Bill Wolkoff and I wrote that line and I wanted to reference that line to these 3 Yahoo podcasters, I'd probably use the word now. I feel like now is the emphasis of that line, not go. So I don't know. Could go either way. I'm on the fence.
That's one of those things where as soon as I thought of it, I filtered it through you guys because I don't know if this is just me being me or if this is the actual
Either way,
thing.
It was definitely the right choice to run with it. 100%.
That's what we do here at Open Pike Night.
Yeah. And I would disagree, I think, for more yahoos than yahoos, Cam. But let's go ahead and hear from another Yahoo podcaster and good friend of ours.
Greetings, Open Pike Night.
Yes.
This is Commander Zoe Richardson, host of Backflip Cinema, the podcast.
Zoe on the bridge.
And acting captain of the USS Cinema. We got a glimpse of the new chief engineer. That's tantalizing. They're not skipping on the humor. This trailer was light and fluffy. We got to look at the Klingons, and they're bringing back the classic Klingon designs from the original series movie era. It feels wholesome that they're bringing back the classic designs and costumes. Also, Kirk is back. We're seeing a lot more of him than I expected that there would be. It's very interesting. I think that this version of Kirk would grow on me. Time will tell. And now hold on a second. What was that, Ensign? You said the chief engineer is ready? All right. I would like the ship to go. Now.
All right, Zoe, always with the production values calling in. And yeah, we have a new chief engineer on the Enterprise this season. You know, they were like, hey, we like Hemmer, but, you know, maybe off the alien. Let's get somebody a little more human looking. I don't know why they made that choice, but what do you guys think? We have Carol Kane joining the Enterprise crew as our new chief engineer. You guys excited?
We are living in a wealth of riches style era. Like what? This is the greatest, most exciting trailer in a long time, and for me. And there's so much to digest and overanalyze and deep dive, and then is the reveal of Carol Kane. And somebody pointed out, what if she is a Betazoid? She's got curly hair like Troy had curly hair. There's so many things. I don't even I'm so excited. And Carol Kane, like, for us to have her in Star Trek in this year is just more evidence that this team knows what it's doing, in my opinion. Like, we need this kind of person front and center in at least one episode, and we need her hanging out in every episode.
Yeah, I mean, my two quick takeaways were, I'm surprised we didn't get more of her. I think we get 2 shots of her.
2 shots of her, yeah.
Very one of which where she's smiling at Spock, and I'll let you talk about that, John, because I know that's your thing.
The other one, she's holding up a pad that says warning on it. Yes. I did do a little bit of zoom.
She seems very calm for holding a pad that says warning, but yeah. I'm glad she looks her age. I mean, Carol Kane is 70, and it's just the promo shot they put out of her earlier was very airbrushed, and I was like, oh yeah, are we sure this is Carol Kane? So yeah, I'm just glad she looks like her in this, and can't wait for more.
And like Cam said, I have been a big fan of, I don't want Spock to be happy that she's there. It sounds like that is pretty well confirmed, that Spock is not fond of or not ready for a new chief engineer after losing Hemmer and dealing with the emotions he had to unleash during the events that led up to Hemmer's death. So I'm glad to see her. I'm curious, like you said, Jesse, that we get Carol Kane in Trek in this time. She's a fantastic performer, and I would say if when they were, somebody first made a list of, who should we get, that she probably wasn't anywhere on the top of anybody's lists. Do you guys think maybe this is like, beyond casting somebody who can handle the performance, do you think maybe this is a little bit of studio saying, hey, let's get a decent sized name in here that a lot of older folks might remember, enjoy, and be willing to sign up for Paramount Plus to watch? Yeah,
because I mean, to your point, that's a great connection to a previous era of television and movies, right? Like, and Star Trek has very rarely shied away from the enormous guest star. So I think that that's actually a really good analysis of it.
I also think typically when a show brings on a big actor like that, they're not around for too long. I'm wondering if the engineering role is the Defense Against the Dark Arts role of Strange New Worlds, and we're just going to cycle through till we finally get to a certain Montgomery Scott. Also, of course, the big thing with Pelia is interesting how they cut to her close up when they talk about aliens, right? Or I forget what the line is, but if we're connecting Una's voiceover to the image, it's suggesting that Pelia is an alien.
Wasn't it something about everybody being on their own journey from maybe somebody from a different planet? I don't know if she mentioned
a different planet. Yeah. So many people from a different planet, they cut to Pelia, and it's like, oh, is she not human then? Maybe Betazoid, maybe something.
Yeah.
And
very well could be.
And another classic Trek thing is aliens that just look like humans.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, why would they shy away from that?
Una already did
extremely strange. Yeah. I'd say Buckley was definitely pushing the envelope as far as, a bipedal alien that did not look very, very bipedal at all. So I miss Buckley.
I know.
Another little interlude here. This trailer suffered from the thing that all trailers these days suffer from, this trailer had a trailer before it.
That's so funny. I was coming here to say that my favorite part of this trailer was that it did not, that I was able to play it and just watch it without a trailer. And the one that they released on Twitter did that. And then I looked it up today to watch some more.
On YouTube, trailer has a trailer.
The official Paramount Plus. And that's just like, fuck off, guys.
I wonder if
I know Paramount Plus didn't invent the trailer, but I mean, do we want to come out united as a podcast here and say that we are entirely anti-trailer?
Guys, if our podcast does nothing but put a stop to the trend of putting a trailer before a trailer, I will feel that I have done something with my life.
That would be a market improvement to the entire world.
Absolutely.
If you watch it on Paramount Plus, it does not have that. But to your point, a trailer is supposed to get people to want to sign up for the service. It's not necessarily for people that already have it. So fair point.
Correct.
Yep. But
but on the official Paramount Plus YouTube channel, it does have it.
It does have a trailer.
I get it.
That's got to be on the audience, though, right? Like, is that just because people are like, if I don't recognize the first 8 seconds, then I don't care? Like,
well, I think it started when they were showing them as commercials on like YouTube videos. It's to get people to not click skip after 2 seconds, which I don't love, but I get. You need people to not click skip. You got to put like the 5 best shots right up front, whatever. But yeah, when people are just coming to the site, to the channel and saying, I want to watch this video, you don't need to convince me. I've already clicked play.
I clicked on it. I chose to watch this video.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, John. That's an absolute worthy soapbox.
Oh, trailers. Boo. Let's hear from Kelly.
Greetings, Open Pike. This is Kelly Zent-Georgi. We're Antipodal on Twitter. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That was a fantastic Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 trailer. I'm still so thrilled. Klingons. And that was a Gorn we saw twice. Paul Wesley returning as James Kirk. Una has returned. Spock holding his harp. Carol Kane as the new Chief Engineer Palia. And a shuttlecraft crashing. And an EVA with Spock and looks like Commander Singh. The return to Rigel 7. Just so much going on. Oh, fantastic. Looking forward to Season 2. Hailing frequencies closed.
All right. Kelly, once again, calling into Open Pike Night. Always good to hear your voice. And she between every episode or two, she always sends a fun email talking about more analysis or whatever she's looking at with Star Trek. And it's fun to see what she's digging into. I want to talk about Spock and him holding that harp.
Mm-hmm.
Because we did see, we know he has the harp in his quarters. We saw it in Spock Amok.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely do you think he's playing it, or do you think
he's playing it?
I just got broken up with vibe from the way he was sitting in that shot.
Maybe. Spock throughout this whole trailer is incredibly emotional. So I'm very glad that I just watched The City on the Edge of Forever, in which Spock is nothing but sassy the whole time, so that I could go, right, that is how Spock is.
Sassy and annoyed.
Yeah, because he, like, the look on his face when Ortegas is doing some maneuvering is terrified. And there's a couple other scenes where he looks maybe very uncomfortable. The shots in particular of him in the EVA suits, I think those are actually with Chapel, but he seems really confident, or maybe not confident, maybe like more put together in those scenes. Like, he's not worried about anything. He's very driven and focused in those scenes.
Well, yeah, I think it's that kind of adrenaline, like,
right.
Exactly. In the moment, you don't have time to second guess yourself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we're going to, I think somebody else mentioned, glad to see that it's still character driven. Yes, I think we're going to get so much character drama from Spock in this season in particular. And I'm kind of wondering, like, is there going to be is it a constant emotion thing of all kinds with Spock, or is it just anger? Because I believe in 109 he said something about letting anger into his heart, right? So, like, that might be a specific driving force, not just emotions in general. And I don't know if that comes across in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds to me like Kelly took John's advice and called in immediately after watching this trailer for the first time.
You can hear the excitement. I love it.
That's what we're shooting for. So if you're out there listening, as you watch the episode, as soon as it's done, call in and ramble. We cut it down if we have to, but you get 90 seconds for a reason.
Totally. Yeah, Kelly mentioned Paul Wesley's Kirk, and to kind of go back to what Zoe was saying, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of Paul Wesley's Kirk in season 1, but as Jesse said, that wasn't real Kirk. That was alternate timeline Kirk, so I'm willing to give him a chance. And I do think that revolving door gag does feel Kirky to me. It feels like the one with the whales Kirk. But still, I got to admit, like, when you hear Una say, hello, Captain Kirk, or whatever, and then you cut to Paul Wesley, who looks nothing like William Shatner. I mean, they both look like white Canadians, I guess. But other than that, like, you couldn't get someone who looks less like Will Shatner. I bumped a little. So we'll see if the performance can sell it.
I theorize that actually the reason La'an and Kirk go back in time to Canada is to make sure that William Shatner is born. Because
I love it.
Otherwise, I mean, you know,
I did just watch Ship in a Bottle, as I said, so I know that Star Trek can get pretty meta.
Pretty self-referential,
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's hear from Jesse. Another Jesse.
Hey Open Pike, it's Jesse from Crusher Convo, and I wanted to give you a quick reaction to the new trailer for Strange New Worlds. It was funny and exciting, and I loved seeing Carol Kane and seeing Ortegas do what she does best. It being the eve of Star Trek Picard's finale, the fans are a little sad, and this was a great boost that we needed. As always, excited for future episodes with you guys, and I know you are going to crush it. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jesse.
She called in. It had to have been 3 minutes after we put out the call for, like, Jesse, Open Pike Jesse told me, okay, it's up and out. And I'm like, I already have an email. So thank you very much for calling in, Jesse. So yeah, it's the end of one era with Star Trek Picard ending, but we are going back to the beginning of the entire era. They're going back to Rigel 7 in this season. And that's from the very first pilot of Star Trek.
And before the first pilot.
Before
that was the backstory to the first pilot.
Yeah, exactly. It happened just before the first pilot of Star Trek starts. So,
and to Jesse's point of, like, you know, the Star Trek fandom is a little sad because one show is ending, and this was a good way to bridge that gap. I personally saw it as they don't want to step on the Picard finale, and they don't want to step on this trailer. Like, they need to let the hype for both of those things coexist rather than crash into each other. And if they were to put this trailer in the Ready Room episode after the finale, that would happen. And it would force a lot of people that hadn't seen any of Picard to, like, you know, go to the Picard page, scroll past a bunch of spoilers, and click on the Ready Room to see this trailer. So it's like, I am really glad that they decided to do it the way that they did. And you know what? I'm going to throw out, I was correct on my first prediction because I believe there are the same number of days between the first teaser trailer and the first episode of the season as there were last year. We're only off on our prior podcast trailer release date prediction by 1 day. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Like, if you're a Strange New Worlds fan, you should probably listen to Open Pike Night.
So yeah, Rigel 7, I'm just putting things together right now because, like I said, I'm pretty sure that Ortegas and Spock on the bridge saying "Let's go" is from that episode because the captain and La'an are down on Rigel 7, and somehow maybe that's where the Guardian is. Somehow they're off Rigel 7. They're somewhere where Spock has to tell Ortegas to warp away. Although, why isn't Una there? Why wouldn't Una be in the captain's chair in that case? Because we don't see her go down to Rigel 7. Is this the first episode? Is Rigel 7 somehow hold the key to freeing Una?
I mean,
I don't know.
She was at Rigel 7.
Boyce,
so
they need Boyce. He's the surprise witness.
What if the Starfleet outpost on Rigel 7 is the prison that Una is in?
Oh, shit.
Underneath the mountain that she destroyed.
John, that happened on Talos 4, which is actually... That's
right, that was Talos 4. I'm sorry. That's right.
No, it's okay, because guess what? Talos 4 is in this frigging teaser trailer, so it's okay.
Says Jesse.
No, Cameron, go look at the two shots. The shot from the trailer where it says, leave your world behind, that text is in front of Talos 4. I paired it with the shot of Talos 4 from Memory Alpha. You can literally match the stars up. It's Talos 4. So they included Talos 4 in the trailer. That doesn't mean they're going to Talos 4, but it could be, to my point from earlier, it could just be another thematic inclusion of, like, World of Illusions, right?
Yeah, we've already been to Talos 4 and Discovery. This Pike has been there, so
there's every time we feel that we find another detail, I'm like, it's going to be so many illusions.
Like we said, we had a lot of callers call in, so let's hear from our buddy Mark.
Hi, Open Pike Night. This is Engineer Mark. And the new trailer for Strange New Worlds Season 2 has finally got here, and wow, does it just blow everything away. Just from what we see here, it is going to completely dominate Trek when it gets here. We have the Klingons, we have the Gorn, we have some kind of time travel thing going on. And then, of course, Una and her, what looks like to be the courtroom scene, which Jesse nailed that completely. Where do we even begin to process this? There's just so much going on in the whole 2 minutes of trailer that it's incredible. It's what do you say? There's how much can you say at this point? Just all we can do is just keep looking and waiting. And what a wait it's going to be. Live long and prosper.
All right, Mark, thank you for calling in. Again, you can hear the excitement in people's voices. And then I very much like how Mark then switched exactly to the frustration we've been feeling. Peter said earlier in his call, it seems like time has flown by since the last July. I'm like, no, Peter, no. It has been a very long winter waiting for more Strange New Worlds. I heartily disagree. I'm with Mark. We still have, 6, 7 more weeks to wait? 8? Mm-hmm. It's just, come on, man.
I've got to say, I did not pick up on the courtroom drama from the bell shot, but it was Mark, Engineer Mark, who pointed out that's the exact same bell from the courtroom scene in the menagerie. So good eye on you, Mark. I see that now and stand corrected.
And I got to say, I feel like this is pretty emblematic of a lot of our listeners and callers. We have Trek fans from every generation who have liked Trek for so many different lengths of time and different reasons. And to hear people that are huge fans of TOS, as Mark is, call in and be excited about Strange New Worlds just does wonders for me as the person who wants everybody to love all the Star Trek except for Enterprise. But it really does illustrate that the excitement for this show is palpable. When this trailer dropped, when, like John was saying, we put out the call to action, calls started coming in. This is one of the few times we haven't had to make a second ask and go, hey, don't forget, because we had plenty to go with after the first time. So thank you for your continued support, and thank you for calling in, Engineer Mark. I will say that I hope we get some Robert April at Una's trial, because I love him. I really love him. And after seeing him be the pushover admiral that he is in the comic series, I need him back. He's like a comforting uncle, right? He's not.
No, he's a dadmiral.
But he's not that much older than Pike, who's a space daddy. So it's like he's an Unkmerl.
Unkmerl, boy, that sounds like an uncle named Merle. I don't think anybody would argue the Una thing is going to bear a lot of weight. We saw it in Illyrian Enigma, the comic book series in between season 1 and season 2. It's going to be quick, lots of different ways they could solve it. We've had some fun theories before, but I think almost at this point, everybody is just ready for it to be over, and it hasn't even started yet, technically, as far as viewership goes. We have 10 episodes in season 2, and I don't think the courtroom scenes or episode is going to be the one people are really excited about.
Well, I mean, I will love it when it airs, but my guess is that it can't be much further than episode 2, right? Because as we mentioned, they need to reset the status quo.
Well, it's it's got to be its own thing and not just feel like it's wrapping up the end of season 1.
Absolutely. All right, let's hear from another caller.
From another continent.
Hi guys, it's Isaac from Unplanned Trek.
Yes.
So I have just seen the Strange New Worlds preview and needed to talk to you guys about it. So first of all, really excited. First, the bit that really stood out to me is how much fun Ortegas is having navigating that beast of a ship. It's going to be fantastic to see that bit, whatever happens in that bit. The thing that also stood out is the humour and the camaraderie of the crew, and that's just something that we love to see in Trek, and particularly Strange New Worlds. So I'm looking forward to seeing all those relationships develop. The one thing I wanted to call out, though, the preview didn't show this, but it's still possible for us to see 3 characters. We could see Mud this season. We could see Prime Lorca. And we can also see, we should be pretty old now considering the distance between Enterprise and now, but Vulcans live longer, we could see T'Pol. So it'd be good if any of those things happen. They're unlikely, but just putting it out there just in case the producers are listening, make it happen. All the best. Bye.
All right, Isaac, thank you again for calling in, rejoining us on the Open Pike Night Stage. We did an episode recently talking about who we would cast in the unseen original series roles. We've even had somebody ask us for some villain casting, fantasy casting also. So what do you guys think? Who would you want to see? Who do you want to see come back? Show up?
I think Harry Mudd. I think Rainn Wilson's Harry Mudd would gel great with this cast in this universe. I would love to see that. I forget how much Spock, if Spock didn't know who that was, if we'd have to do some kind of trickery of who he interacts with, but I'd love to see him come back.
I agree. And it would be a good, because I'm trying to remember, from what I remember of the TOS era Harry Mudd, it's okay, well, the disco era Harry Mudd is a lot more hands-on and kind of badass than the TOS era Harry Mudd. So it's it'd be good to see him start going to seed a little bit. Maybe he has some successes and starts building a fortune a little bit. And just age catching up with him.
Mm-hmm. I also like that Isaac picked up on the theme of family here, because that is definitely prevalent in the trailer. There's I think it's Una or Uhura mentions, I always considered myself ultimately alone, but on this ship nobody's alone, which is a sentiment that has been expressed on Open Pike Night before. Star Trek literally brings people together. That's literally happening right now. You're listening to it happen. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. And to that point, I'd love to see Sarek. I want it to be Matthew McFadden, but I want to see Sarek, or I want to see Mrs. Sarek. I believe her name is Amanda Spockington. That's not mine. I stole that from a friend on Twitter whose name I will record later and John will insert right here.
Shout out to Jennifer Lee Rossman at Jen L. Rossman on Twitter. You are hilarious.
But as far as villains go, I am not super familiar with all of the TOS villains outside of, Khan and Harry Mudd. So I don't know that I can necessarily give you a villainous answer there. I'm happy to have some Klingons back. My guess is that means we probably won't get any Romulans, which kind of bums me out. But this show has been pretty willing to give us different aliens. So, we could definitely see some Andorians. I'd love to see a live-action Cation. I'm pretty easygoing. I'd like to see a Medusan. I know that's not really a villain, but I'd like to see a Medusan rendered in the Strange New World style. So, but I guess my short answer is Sarek.
Yeah.
Well, I love Isaac's mention of T'Pol too. This Strange New Worlds kind of seems like maybe the last good chance for her to make a return. So maybe give her that chance now. To Star Trek, she can always show up in some other series that takes place 300 years later, but this series would make perfect sense and wouldn't need a 5-minute explanation.
And I would hope that they would bring Jolene Blaylock back for that. It would be very weird to bring T'Pol back and not bring her back. So
exactly. The age thing would work.
Yeah, exactly.
Our listener Kelly pointed out on Twitter that with this very probable Guardian of Forever going on here, what if Spock is just, happens to be glimpsing all of human history through this window, and he gets to see his big sister Michael, and maybe that's something that, as she flashes past the screen, does his heart well and helps him to heal emotionally, and it makes me want to cry, and I'm very excited, and I hope they do it, but I'll understand if they don't.
All right, let's hear from our final caller of the evening.
Hey, Open Pike Night. I cannot believe the Paramount Plus had the audacity to drop a Strange New Worlds trailer on the eve of the series finale of Star Trek Picard. I am not emotionally ready for that show to end and can barely focus on the trailer. But actually, yes, I can believe that they did that because everyone is focused on Star Trek Picard right now. And I guess that's the Crusher connection for the week. We'll see where things end with Beverly. But you have requested our reactions to the Strange New Worlds trailer, and my reaction I shall give. I am really interested to see what's going to happen with all the characters. There's a real humor that I think came through, and there was a lot of action, a lot of excitement, and I think really it can be summed up this way. Yeah, that's right. The Screaming Goat from Crusher Convo is making a crossover this week, and I'll let you know more about my thoughts after I've processed Star Trek Picard. But anyway, looking forward to Strange New Worlds. Live long and prosper.
All right. Michelle from Crusher Convo calling in, bringing some of the energy of their podcast. You know, you don't have to be a Star Trek podcaster to call in. In fact, we seriously want to hear from Star Trek fans everywhere. We would love to welcome you to the Open Pike Night Stage, so be sure to call in as you start watching season 2. We haven't talked a lot about the Gorn because they were set up as the main villain kind of in season 1. And how much do we think they're going to be the main villain in season 2?
I would argue main villain status. I would say they were set up as a potential bad guy for whenever we need a potential bad guy. Like, they've been a little bit revamped to be more monstrous, less sympathetic, which I know some fans have an issue with, but I have always felt like in your fiction, you shouldn't say there's no such thing as monsters. You should just teach the people in your fiction about context. And it sounds like the showrunners agree if you watch the season 1 special features on Blu-ray, which you can check out our episode called Strange Blue Worlds about. But I think that giving us such a variety of alien life in this teaser is just our indicator, like, that thing is right up in La'an's face, right? Like,
yeah.
And we know that they can shoot venom, so that's another thing where I'm like, this looks like an impossible situation. What is going on in this entire teaser? There's so much here.
Yeah, I get the impression it's one episode. Gorn, one episode in season 2. I felt like they were setting Cybok up as the big villain. So interestingly, no hint of him. But again, I think we're only seeing like half the episodes in this trailer. So
yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't see Captain Angel this season, but we sure didn't see them in the trailer.
Yeah,
or hints of Cybok. I'm gonna say the face-to-face Gorn shot is a dream.
Could be.
I think that is, Star Trek is not averse to dream sequences, so that's where I'm picturing that came from, because it's either that or somebody has captured and like devenomed and it just has a captive Gorn that La'an interacts with. I think a dream is a lot more likely.
So. One kind of going back to Peter's question, something that surprised me about the trailer is not a lot of Pike. I feel like he was maybe the most underrepresented character, which is surprising because I feel he's the biggest actor in the Captain. I'm not complaining. Love Pike. I'm here for Pikes, but I'm excited to see all these other smaller characters we love, like all the Ortegas love in the trailer.
Yes, absolutely. It is surprising though when like you said, you break it down. It's like, oh, he's got 2 close-ups, maybe 3. Just not very many lines from him. Not very much attention from the camera.
He does a lot of like standing gorgeously in a part of a shot.
Yeah, giving a look, and his hair is hairdo's a little bit updated. Ortegas' hairdo looks straight out of season 1. Chapel's hair changed too. There's one shot where hers, she straightens her hair out.
Some wings or something there.
Oh yeah. Mirror universe.
Then where's her goatee?
I've been surprised at all the Mirror Universe detractors I've been seeing on Twitter and Discord.
Man, the Mirror Universe is a divisive
I was surprised.
Topic.
And I mean, that's fine. Everything's going to have different mileage for different people. But for me personally, like the Mirror Universe is like a time loop episode or a Klingon episode or a Romulan episode. Like every series needs at least one Mirror Universe episode. And I feel like the Strange New Worlds cast is just like, if we don't see Mirror Universe versions of them, we're being robbed.
Like, I'll plant my flag here. I love how the Mirror Universe gets portrayed in Discovery. Like, it is very arch. It is very self-aware. Like, it is not pretending not to be 100% what it is. And it super works for me. When Michael Burnham screams terra firma directly into the camera, my entire body tingles. Like, so, like, just
I'm
here
Killy,
for it.
like
Yes,
Harry Mudd and the Mirror Universe episodes were for me the best episodes of Discovery in the first 2 seasons.
You guys should watch Enterprise.
I'm going to. I'm working my way through it. I'm so excited to get to more Universe episodes.
You're telling me even the best episode of Enterprise doesn't take place in Enterprise?
No, it's not the best episode, but the Mirror episodes are very fun. They're like Cam said, they're just fun. And DS9 goes all over the Mirror universe.
Oh, I've heard. I can't wait to get to those. I think the biggest sin Star Trek ever pulled is not giving us a TNG Mirror universe. So
absolutely.
Picard season 3, I haven't seen it yet. It better go there. I'm watching their faces. I'm looking at their faces.
This is so difficult for me.
Mirror universe Picard 3. I did think we got a tease. There's the shot. I put it on Twitter that looks like Erica's Googling herself at one point. She's got a pad with her profile. And I was like, oh, maybe that's her checking out like the Mirror Universe Ortega's, like seeing what she's up to. But she is in the Starfleet uniform, and they don't have those in Mirror Universe, do they?
Yeah, they got the Terran uniform.
That's right. So yeah, can't.
Obviously, she'd be called Gortegas because she's like a butcher of some,
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And her uniform is only red because it's stained with the blood of 1,000 enemies.
Exactly.
And then Pike goes, I never thought I'd say this, but I want less Tegas. And then blasts her off the bridge.
And she survives and kills him. But I think that shot actually is her uploading a newly finished evasive or like corkscrew laser maneuver into the main computer from her personal pad, because why else would she have her
But that would just be like a list of files. Like we've seen Starfleet's profiles before, and that's a classic Starfleet profile that's up on her pad.
Right. So maybe she's
updating her Wikipedia.
She went, does anybody have a pad? Open your Erica Ortega's page. And they went, boop. And she was like, all right, now give it to me. And then she plugged it into the main computer, and then they do the laser drill. Phaser drill, sorry.
She updates that before her logs are even like sent back to Starfleet. Like her page says she did this, but does anybody remember? Like, oh, that was like 7 minutes ago.
Yeah,
she is on it with her updates.
Yeah,
social media
that I buy.
queen.
That I buy. Yep.
No, she just posted on Trekker.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have anything else to say since we've been talking for an hour and a half about a 2-minute teaser trailer?
All right.
Feels about right.
Wait, Star Trek is nothing if not consistent in its fandom.
Right. I want to say thank you specifically to Michelle and Jesse from Crusher Convo for always contributing very well to our show, even though it sometimes has a tenuous connection at best to Beverly Crusher. And I want to thank them for their coverage of Picard Season 3, because it's actually helped me analyze some of how I feel about the show. And I'll put it this way so that I can't be considered to have spoiled Cameron, but all you
take my headphones off.
You can if you want. All you very excited Picard Season 3 fans out there, I will just say Ortegas did it first. And this trailer is an example of that yet again. And I'm so happy.
Yes, I will agree with that. I look forward to the day when we can uninhibitedly talk about all of Picard, but especially Season 3 with Cam. We'll be getting there in a couple of years, but it is honestly, I feel like Strange New Worlds in the first 3 seconds of this teaser like overshot the entire Picard Season 3 lighting budget, just with the amount of lighting they had. I love TNG. I love Picard. It is a complicated series, but it's really good to see a brightly lit, visible, not gritty Star Trek series.
It's so
we've had a lot of dark Trek lately, and so it's good to see bright, cheerful Postal Service Trek.
Yes. Well put.
It's been a long night, and I have to scrub through all our audio to find 2.5 seconds of pre-teaser for the beginning of when you listen to this. So it'll take me a while to dig through and find something coherent, but thank you all for joining us. Thank you to everybody who called in. Jesse, where can folks find out more about Open Pike Night?
If you don't feel that I'm being too loud and need to calm down, you can follow the show on Twitter at OpenPike. You can also go to openpike.com to get everything there is to get involved with the show. You can get our newsletter. You can sign up for our Patreon. You can follow us on Twitter, on our website, even if you don't have a Twitter account. It's pretty convenient. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Just go to openpike.com and sign up to be part of that newsletter, because we're going to need a lot of help from you when Season 2 gets here.
And Cam, where can folks find more of you?
Yeah, as we've talked about, you can listen to me watching Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time on Green Shirt, a newbie's trek to the Next Generation, where I, along with producer John and some other Trekkies, are making our way through that season 6 now. You'll hear Jesse here be a frequent guest, as well as many of our callers have guested on as well. So check us out wherever you're listening to this podcast, Green Shirt.
And there's a special episode of Green Shirt coming up that's about Deep Space Nine that I happened to guest on, and you're going to love it.
That'll be dropping soon. We are about to get into Deep Space Nine and should be dropping minisodes for that going forward. So
we'll be running Deep Space Nine parallel with TNG, just like they did back in the day when they first aired.
A double shotgun blast of Star Trek coming at you through Green Shirt.
Absolutely. Jesse, where can folks find more of you outside of Open Pike Night?
If for whatever reason you need more of me in your ears, just stay in this podcasting app and go check out Sudden But Inevitable. It's the show where I turn longtime friends into brand new fans of the shows I feel they probably should have seen by now. Shows like Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, movies like Highlander, Donnie Darko. If hearing people get forced to like stuff is the kind of thing that you're into, then please go check out Sudden But Inevitable.
And I can be found on Twitter at John T. Bolds. And thank you everybody for being here with us tonight. We appreciate all our listeners, all of our patrons, and we cannot wait for Strange New Worlds Season 2. Keep checking back, keep hanging out with Open Pike Night.
Real quick, guys, Sophie's Choice. Are you more excited to watch Strange New Worlds Season 2 or more excited to talk about it with our community?
Ooh, 50-50. That's an impossible call for me.
Can't do it. Can't do it, right?
I choose the third unloved child, Venture Brothers. I'm very excited for the Venture Brothers movie. There we go.
No, this episode has gotten me super jazzed for both the show and continuing to talk about excitedly with you guys about what's to come. Super exciting.
I have picked how we're going to be rating each episode for season 2. So
this is news to us.
I'm terrified. Yeah.
Last season was a little complex by the end, but I have decided. Do you guys want to know? You want to hear it? Or
let's hear it now.
Okay.
This is our trailer for season 2 of Open Pike Night.
I've decided that as each episode goes on, we'll be rating whether each episode was better or worse than its first season episode counterpart. So episode 1 is a better.
Gotcha. One on one, 2 and 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Ooh. So we'll hopefully that means by the end of the season we'll be able to have the most perfect representation of 10 Strange New Worlds episodes from each of us.
40% of what producer John does is designed to get me to squirm on the microphone.
And it's fun. It's great. And call in, make Jesse squirm. The more people who call in, the easier our job is because we just have to talk less. And obviously, the three of us don't like talking about Star Trek. We love talking about Star Trek. And we love Strange New Worlds. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Be sure to clean up after yourselves. Be sure to tip your servers. You can go anywhere you want, but you can't stay here.
We've talked about Pike. I think we've got all the characters out of the way. There's definitely a Guardian of Forever, probably. We think.
We spend a lot of time on it. It better fucking turn out to be a Guardian
seriously.
of Forever.
If it's not, then well done. You misdirected the heck out of all of us.